So, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining another episode of Sales and Marketing Friday Talks. As usual, every second Friday, we share insights, best practices, and anecdotes from B2B technology companies. And this time, our topic is around building the future-proof marketing team. And we all see that the digital economy is rapidly growing and developing a lot of new opportunities. And the role of marketing also, therefore, is quite different than it used to be before, and especially in the B2B organization. And this time we have our delighted guest, Jens Tinapp, VP of Marketing and Communication and Diehl Metering, joining us for discussing this particular topic, how we can build a future-proof marketing team. So welcome, Jens.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice meet you as well, and thank you for joining in such a busy time, as I imagine, for any B2B company that year end and probably a lot of activity still needs to be done. But nevertheless, you find time joining us. So thanks a lot. And let's kick off the conversation maybe with the question about what then has really changed, how the role of marketing has evolved in these last 5 to 10 years. I think, Jens, you have been pretty long already in this field of the marketing, and we can quickly discuss what has been marketing a few years ago and what you see it is happening now. What do you think?
Yes, so thanks for the invitation. It's my pleasure to be here. You just said that these busy times. Today is Black Friday,
Yes.
Although in B2B it probably is not a big deal, but you can see the hype, let's say, which is being created on this day, on this week. So suddenly it's not only one day, it's a week or even 2 weeks. So the whole e-commerce is going crazy at the moment. In B2B, this is luckily not the case, let's say. So we are still trying to close the year. So it's busy, but it's not super busy versus other months, let's say, in B2B. But it somehow shows, that probably also in B2B, there has been lots of changes due to digital transformation and online presence, for example. So in B2B, I think digital marketing really has experienced a boost, especially during the Corona times. Fortunately, that's over, but it still somehow remains. During the COVID lockdowns, for example, exhibitions had been closed down completely, which is one of the key marketing elements to get in touch with B2B prospects and customers. So due to those, let's say, 2 or 3 years, digital channels like LinkedIn, I mean, we are meeting here on LinkedIn, sometimes industry specific platforms, websites, search engine optimizations, these topics have been becoming much more important now to reach and engage with a B2B audience. So I think this is really the key changes we have seen in the last 5 years.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think those new channels, they brought a lot of opportunities, same time that it also brought a lot of challenges. What we observe working with our clients in the tech industry in general in B2B space, that if you look back like maybe 5 years ago, mostly B2B companies were focused on the direct marketing, let's put it that way, engaging customers to the events, conferences, and things like that. Nowadays, of course, hard to find any B2B company which is not on the digital channels or not leveraging them in any matter. So, and that also creates a lot of I would say noise on one hand, so that customers basically see information coming from all around, and that creates a challenge in other words for the marketing, how to basically stay relevant, how to still make customers talking to you, engaging with you, and so on and so forth. And I think that's one kind of big change in the B2B space. What I can see, that digital became like a new norm, and you have to really natively use it and leverage. On the other hand, I think the competition, what we just mentioned, also brought a lot of challenges in terms of how can you really generate new business. And that is also what I believe has changed in terms of expectations towards the marketing from the companies today. So that marketing is perceived, or at least in some cases perceived as a business enabler in a way. So that, hey guys, bring us new customers, make them come, right? And that is what we hear from salespeople, that they expect marketing to help them open doors and help them get pipeline growing. And that, I think, is another big change. What I also see in terms of the expectations toward the marketing. But how you now working I understand that quite a big company, and which is also international companies, and if I understand right, so you're working across different markets, right? Yeah. So how you see also these changes in terms of expectations from the CEO and from your sales team and maybe some other team? What do you hear from them? What they ask you actually today? Are there any?
I mean, the role of marketing, of course, is still crucial, and maybe relating back to what we said in the beginning, in times when things have become more digital, that companies and sales teams rely more on marketing to utilize digital channels for prospecting and for getting new leads and getting in touch with customers. So we still have exhibitions, unfortunately, to a big extent they are back, but the role of the digital go-to-market has increased heavily. And this is about, of course, now thought leadership. So it's creating the right content in terms of, let's say, a white paper, an ebook, a webinar, social media posts to really deliver value to potential leads and customers. It's about personalization, right? And of course, technology allows us suddenly to personalize things much better. We don't need to create a standardized newsletter anymore. We can slice and dice a newsletter to different audiences, to different use cases, to different geographies, with the support of CRM tools, for example. So this helps a lot, for example. So also technology has evolved, which makes our life a little easier, or let's say, which supports the need from the sales organization or from the leadership team to do good lead generation, inbound marketing, content marketing, and thought leadership, for example.
Yes. But is it also like what you see in terms of the expectations from your leadership team? What they do expect marketing basically to fulfill in this overall, let's say, setup of the new, or not new, but like digital type of organization nowadays? So do they expect you to take care of the this reputation, branding, and stuff like that, which has been always a traditional part of the marketing? And how much do they expect you to go for this sales type of activity, sales type of behavior, mindset, and things like that? Is it happening, you see, or not yet?
Yeah, I think it's still a mix. I mean, when I arrived to Diehl Metering a year ago, I asked the CEO, what would be your expectation in a year from now in terms of the output? And it was quite interesting that he said, I would love to see more creative consistency in our go-to-market, and especially in the digital space. Of course, it's very easy to compare things from a go-to-market in China versus North America versus Spain or something. So we tried as a marketing team, for example, to really work on brand expression, on CI and CD topics to start with. It's almost like something which is the standard toolkit of a marketing department to create corporate consistency in terms of your messaging and go to market. But this, I mean, it's the reason I'm mentioning this is still important in a world where we are predominantly active on LinkedIn and on some digital channels. Still, I think the value of driving the brand and your brand image and your brand consistency and your brand message and your brand campaign and your brand look and feel and your brand promise is super important, because otherwise you get lost in the digital details of optimizing your social media posts each day. So just wanted to highlight, the value of brand. And I'm coming from a B2C background in the beginning of my career, where brand was everything, and I'm always trying to bring brand and brand emotion and also to the B2B space. I was on a content marketing conference, and there was a speaker from it was the CMO of an Austrian manufacturer of cranes and construction machines. The way they marketed was almost all about emotions and making the driver of the truck the hero. I love that. It was really a B2C approach to a industry which is about construction and heavy machinery and stuff like that. And that's also something I'm trying to introduce also to what we are doing. I mean, our products are water and energy meters, so it's almost like a low interest product which you will find in your basement somewhere, but everybody has it. So we're trying to add a little bit more excitement and brand to the product. And the way you do it is the way you do photography or you build your messaging around these products, for example.
I can't imagine, but it would be really great to see some of your work in terms of how to bring excitement into the meters stuff like that. But I'm sure that there are ways, and you're absolutely right. I think the importance of brand is now probably is high as never before, also in the B2B space, because of this, what we discussed in the beginning, that there are so many companies now doing something around digital marketing, providing like content, providing events or whatever else, that for the customer it's very hard actually to understand whom they can trust and how to understand whether this is a reliable vendor or not, and what are the values of this. Because if you just purely look from those basic things, almost everyone do the same. And I think the brand exactly is one of the ways how you can differentiate yourself, the value of your brand, which comes along with all this emotional part, but also some rational part and some other things what are becoming part of this.
We have to, and especially if you have a premium product, where there might be competition which is able to produce way cheaper, and therefore you need to highlight the value of your brand and also the value of the whole ecosystem you are offering around it. So for us, it's almost like a value chain of products. It starts with a meter, it goes to connectivity, to gateways, to implementation service and consulting, and even now to artificial intelligence, machine learning, and analytics tools. Therefore, the stronger you can market the ecosystem towards a customer, which is like kind of a one-stop solution, the less price comparison will be possible, and the more you can highlight the value of your own offering, especially if you are a Germany or European-based manufacturer of B2B goods. So that's really important. And I mean, in terms of the requirements to the team, to the marketing team, this is also, they need to be super proficient in digital marketing, right? It's almost heart and center to everyone to be able to understand what a CMS is, how to build a website. I'm almost expecting this from anybody in the team. I mean, I'm also working sometimes in the CMS and changing something on the website where I see a typo or something. I don't want to call my website manager and ask him to call the agency, to call the freelancer to change something on the website. I can do it myself, and that would be something I expect from the whole team. Everybody should be able to write a social media post, a LinkedIn post, right? This is nothing you need to give to an agency all the time. I mean, it's about knowing your product. It's about knowing your customer. It's about knowing how to create a LinkedIn post. And by the way, there is now artificial intelligence tools which can do almost all of the work for you. But I think you still need to stay smart. You need to still know your customer, what they need, what use cases they have. Of course, a good understanding of your product portfolio and how that connects to your customer needs. I think that's something I'm expecting from everyone in the marketing team, right? Be it the person managing Salesforce or working on the website or working on a campaign, let's say.
Yes. But in terms of like new capabilities, what do you think in terms of for the future? Because you mentioned about the AI, all these tools now, which designed to help marketers, especially, building the content, maybe optimizing the content, and other similar operations. How much do you see this is like a requirement nowadays, or what will be needed in maybe a couple of other years in terms of the new capabilities? Because one is that, just to finish, one is that to know the technology and to be able to use that through these prompts and things like that. But what other maybe, how to say, soft skills, if you like, you see coming to the game as well?
See me and hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So let me just continue. I think people in marketing need to stay super up to date with modern technology, especially I think also marketing technology is changing rapidly. So also everyone needs to be super tech savvy nowadays, being able to understand the latest trends in search engine optimization and website creation, and now especially with artificial intelligence tools, right? Be it tools to help you in graphic design, or tools helping you in concepting, or especially copywriting. I think this is really something where technology flies super fast at the moment. It's almost already tough for me to stay up to date and know what's happening. So I think everybody needs to stay. I mean, it's like Steve Jobs said, stay foolish and stay curious. This is also, I think, coming back to the expectations of the CEO, for example. They expect innovation from the marketing team. So I think we are, as marketeers, also those people bringing new tools, bringing new ideas, bringing new channels to the organization. So these are almost like the soft skills we would expect from everyone.
I'd like to ask you, what is if you look at research, very often it's mentioned that marketing and sales collaboration is a big challenge for organization. Can you perhaps talk a bit what is your approach and how you are aligning with sales to make sure that actually the brand resonance, the demand that you generate actually can be monetized by sales, and you are both marketing and sales teams in alignment.
Yeah, I mean, we try to stay as close to sales as we can. I mean, basically, I'm reporting to the chief sales and marketing officer, so almost we are in the same department. So it's not separated in that sense. So we report to the same boss in this case. So that also makes things easier, because leadership team meetings basically include me and the head of sales operations and the VPs for the sales regions, for example. So naturally, we are already quite close to what they need, to what they do, to what type of customer opportunities they are currently working on. And I'm also trying to implement this into my team, of course, that people try to stay very close to account managers, for example. They join account managers when they go on a customer visit. Before we let's say create the concept for a booth of an exhibition, we look at the type of the customer profile coming there and what sales would need to convey a good message about our company and our portfolio of products. So I think it's almost trying to integrate sales and marketing as much as possible. And over my own career history, I've also had experiences where sales and marketing were really competing with each other, or were not understanding or not even talking to each other enough. And that's something which also I have learned over time, that the better you integrate sales and marketing from a marketing point of view and from a marketing organization point of view, the easier your job will be in creating the right campaigns and creating the right messages for the organization.
Yes. And considering also what you mentioned in terms of these required capabilities, the cooperation between sales and marketing, seems that quite many things needs to be done. And the question is how to make sure you can really handle all that, because obviously, regardless how big team you have in marketing, you never have enough resources, and so
it's never enough. You're right.
Yeah, in this case, the question is like, do you see that strategically it is important to develop and keep those competencies internally, and which ones then, or you rather see it as, because there is another extreme is when you basically put everything on your external partners and then you operate and orchestrate with them from the internal few strategic resources, or there is something in between. How you see that approach?
Yeah, I mean, the typical answer is probably it depends, but it's quite strange, as you said. In my experience, I have worked as a one-man show marketing team, and I have led teams of 20 or 25 people, and the feeling was always that you don't have enough people. Either you are alone or you are with 25 people. So it always feels like, if I had this one person more, then I think everything would be fine. And then you find out that actually that's not the ideal situation. So I guess it depends in terms of what to keep internal. I think internal, always you need people who have your product knowledge. That's something you cannot really hand over to an agency. Although actually I had a amazing experience a couple of days ago when we gave I think the task of just simply translating and tidying up a couple of PowerPoint slides to an agency. That's something which we gave to them. They actually came back to me and said, yes, but if we translate this slide into English, then one of the legal requirements is actually not valid anymore on the slide. And that showed me that, wow, the agency really is in the topic and they knew exactly what they were doing. So they were just not just tidying it up and translating it. They really understood the content. But this only happens if you have a partner which you're working with for 10 years, and they know you and they know your portfolio. So typically I would always try to keep product knowledge internally, to have people internally connecting the dots and working on the big picture. What you can ask agencies or freelancers to do is sometimes, and I like to do that also, is to bring new ideas and bring inspiration in terms of new channels or new ways to go to market. I just noticed something in an agency, for example, they suggested to do a holographic or some augmented reality demonstration for products on exhibitions. So that's ideas which are coming in, and this is something we're looking into nowadays, for example. So I always love when agencies bring out of the box ideas, and very often we say no, it's not possible, or we don't want to do it, or we don't have time, or it's we don't have the budget. But I think it's these external impulse which sometimes you need to improve what you're doing, because otherwise you're too much focused on your internal view, and you tend to forget what nice things other people do, or ideas other people have.
Yeah, I can only agree. Also, like looking at from the another side, like being as on the agency side, and we have very different type of engagements. And the best what is working when the internal team is really, as you rightly pointed, like have a very good strategy, deep product knowledge. They clearly know customers, their segments. They can define what they want to achieve, and then we just put together ideas, and then we help them execute in areas where they may be lacking some of capabilities or competencies, like whatever it is. Is it a customer nurturing, or is it maybe some sourcing of leads and combination of that, and building like a proper funnel for that, and then executing it across different multi touch points and so on and so forth. So combining that together works usually out the best way.
Yeah.
But also like the big question typically when it comes to the marketing and thinking, especially in like upcoming future, where almost nearly everyone starts to become like a copywriter, starts to become, I don't know, one or another specialist with help of the AI tools. How to really make organization see the impact of marketing? Because of course we can create that amount of, I don't know, nice banners or social posts or anything like that, but then in the end of the day, everyone, at least on the top management level, they see on numbers or some other KPIs. So how then change this mindset, what comes from this old past, what we discussed in the beginning, when marketing was perceived in many cases like somebody who is taking care of these nice brochures, nice stand for the expo or stuff like that, but not really necessarily brings us new business. And in this case, we discussed that it's kind of changing, both in terms of expectations, in terms of the what marketing is doing today. What you see for marketing team as an opportunity, or what they need to do in order to be recognized in proper manner?
So it's probably share, and communicate. And I mean, as a marketing team, we should be the communication experts in the organization. And typically, we actually own the communication channels of the company. So what would be more easy than using those channels also for internal marketing, for example? So in many organizations, at least in our, we own the internal communication channels. So I'm always asking the team also to use them to talk about what we are doing, not only what the others are doing. And sometimes we tend to forget that, honestly, and therefore marketing sometimes is in the shadow of what an organization is doing. So I can only encourage every marketeer, and sometimes it feels unnatural to share all of what you're doing, but usually you should share more than feels natural, because then for the outside or the other people in the organization, it feels natural. So this is about, success stories. It could be success stories together with other departments. Like, we have won a customer with sales because we met them on an exhibition, which we organized as a marketing and sales team together. Right. In an ideal world, of course, you will be able to show let's say, the marketing influence on pipeline. Even in B2B, I think this is really tough because the purchase cycle is so long. I mean, in our case, sometimes, this is a tender business, sometimes which takes 2 years or even longer.
Yes.
So tracking it back to a certain exhibition or a campaign or a social media post is almost impossible. So, calculating marketing influence pipeline or a return on marketing investment is very, very difficult. So you can only try to show what type of contribution you had as a marketing team. In the end, it will always be the sales guy who closed the deal. I mean, there's very lots of funny memes about marketing supporting sales. I'm sure you have seen those. So I can only say, it's share the good stuff, communicate to the organization, use the platforms which the company is offering, be it an all hands meeting, or be it an internal newsletter, or be it it could be just a simple Teams channel or something where you post something you have been doing. And sometimes it's just we have a new campaign, or there is a new brochure, or there is a new landing page. It's also the small stuff which sometimes is worth talking about.
Yeah. So it's a good advice. So we can summarize it as so basically do marketing internally and promote your work, and make sure people recognize that and build your own brand in a way. So thanks a lot, Jens, for this conversation. We have spent half an hour as planned, and probably we could spend another half an hour or even longer talking about other related things, what we didn't manage to cover. But that's, again, a good reason for us to come back in some time and continue this conversation. I just only wish you great success with all what you do, with all the branding for maybe, excuse me, but quite boring kind of product. But nevertheless, I'm sure that there is a possibility to put a lot of creativity to make it really exciting, and glad to see that this is happening with your help. Otherwise, I would like to thank you also, everyone who has joined our conversation, and remind you guys that you always can and welcome to follow us, IBD Consulting, on LinkedIn and other social platforms. And you can use hashtag FryTalks to find more episodes and other interesting insights people are sharing here, coming to our talk show. All the episodes also available on the podcast platform, so you can turn to the Apple, to the Spotify, or any other what you prefer, and there will be all the 50 episodes what we have. And actually today we have an anniversary episode, so it's the 50th episode of Fry Talk. That's great to remember, actually. So thanks a lot for being with us. Thank you, Jens, for coming and sharing your perspective on the future of the marketing team. Everyone else, enjoy the Black Friday. So maybe save some money also for Christmas, but nevertheless, enjoy this time of the year. Thanks a lot, and we'll speak again in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.